Hello, everybody. Welcome to Silent Podcast, a place for everything but silent. I'm host Isaiah, and we are here this sad evening to talk about Big Brother Canada 12. I'm here with some very, very fun podcasters. Josie Ann. Josie, how are you?
I'm good. This episode was crazy. It's like you think Big Brother Canada can't top itself, and then you get an episode like this, and it just reminds you why Big Brother Canada is superior. So I'm excited to talk about it.
All right, we also got Katie. Katie, what's going on?
We picked the perfect night to podcast live right after the episode. Like, this couldn't have worked out any better. I can't wait to talk about this whole week. I can't wait to talk about this whole week. I'm seated. I'm ready for the conversation.
All right, we also got Janelle.
Yes, it's been such a wild week, and I don't even know necessarily still what I think about it. Like, still what I think of the choice. If it was good, if it was bad, I'm excited to get into it.
All right, and for the first time this season, King Lance is back. Lance, how are you doing?
What's up? What's up, y'all? It feels so good to be back as I've been watching In the Abyss this whole season and then watching y'all and having y'all thoughts. And now I'm able to bring some of my thoughts to the table. Usually I'm in the thick of it with you all season, giving our hot takes and battling with Josie all season long. But maybe some things might be a little different this time. So I'm ready to get into it and give my thoughts because I feel like I have a lot of catching up to do with you all.
All right. Yeah, we're here to talk about everything crazy that happened tonight. This was I'm not gonna call it a pop-up stream, but we playing this like 24 hours beforehand. We didn't know this was gonna be this crazy. A lot of glass shattering, a lot of bitch being thrown around. It was crazy, man. So if you enjoy this podcast, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and all the other fun stuff. But let's get into it. What the hell happened, man? Like how did we get here? Why are we here? Why is Victoria gone?
Let's first address you, Isaiah. You seem a little mopey, sad, and I don't know exactly how to handle this, Isaiah.
Lance, I've been defending my favorite player of Big Brother Canada of all time against a lot of people this season, and I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. This is I didn't think she deserved to leave. You know what I'm saying? I think this is a huge L for Anthony Douglas. We're gonna talk about it, but like, I just had to wear my shiesty. Like, I had to be ready for battle just in case something crazy happened. So I didn't want nobody to see my face. I don't want to see any kind of weakness. I had to put some sunglasses on. But it's ridiculous that we just lost one of the most entertaining Big Brother players of all time tonight. But what are you going to do? That's why.
She lived up to her name tonight.
And yeah. I mean, okay, to answer your initial question, how did Victoria end up here? I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it frank. Messy gameplay. Victoria is strategic. She is a social beast, and she wins comps. I cannot take that away from Victoria. I will never take that away from her. But let's keep it a buck and let's keep it real. Victoria has notoriously known for messy gameplay, and it caught up to her. It caught up to her this week. I think she was saying how like she feel like Anthony's been keeping things in his back pocket and like using it to like, or preparing it or conserving it to use it against her. But you gave him the ammunition to take the shot. Like, I think that's an important lesson. Like, this like playing sides, you went too hard. And she said it with her interview with Arissa. She said, I was also trying to protect myself, which absolutely valid. It's an individual game. But if you do something, you better be ready for the consequences. And she did it too much. And she, from what we saw in the digital dailies, I can't speak for the entire house, but she did not go up to him and go, by the way, I said this when I spoke about you. Because then they could have maybe had a conversation where he's like, relax that. They didn't have that conversation, right? So when he's sitting here, not entirely sure of Victoria's gameplay, because we get to see everything. Not entirely sure who actually is her number one, especially since she's done numerous moves that kind of go against what he needs as an ally of hers. I can understand why he doesn't fully trust her. And for her to kind of like act like she did nothing, I don't know if she has selective memory or memory loss, but she did do things to give him the ammunition to take the shot, and he did. So,
yeah, agreed.
I think she just got caught up. I think she was playing hard and fast since the beginning. And I know last week I wasn't Spicy's biggest defender, but I actually do think this was not a great move for Dougie, because I think he probably underestimated that she was going to go scorched earth against him. And I think she gave a lot of ammo to some of the people left in the house to use against him. And if he wasn't going to follow her out next week, I think her speech at the end of the night tonight probably put that nail in the coffin, because I think we heard Bailey say, like, what's hot chocolate? And like, she's not going to let go the fact that Anthony had multiple final twos and multiple alliances that she wasn't a part of. So I think it's not going to bode well for Anthony. I do think Spicy was probably not fully listening to Anthony when he was giving his reasoning, but I also think he wasn't being fully honest about his reasoning. I do think he went for her because she is the face of a lot of the moves. I mean, we talked about it last week in a different way about the moves against the girls, but like, those are all Spicy's moves that she could have owned at the end of the day, and he was in the background, and she was definitely a big jury threat. He even said the jury is obsessed with Spicy V. Just say that to her and own it a little bit. But I feel like that he keeps using this, like, well, you played against me and you were in these conversations against me. It's almost like, just own your move, especially in the goodbye message. Like, just say, yeah, okay, this played into it too. Like, yeah, you were, doing a lot of talking behind my back, but you also were a threat to me at the end. And like, at the end of the day, it's an individual game, but he didn't do that. So I feel like, I just don't know if the jury's going to like this move if he makes it to the end. And especially with Spicy V going in there, as she said to Arissa, as a Bailey defender, even if Anthony makes it, I don't know if he's a shoo-in to win at this point. I think he should have done this at final 3, like we talked about last week.
Yeah. I agree. I think that even if she ends up voting for him, she's going to make sure that nobody else does. Like, that's how I think she's going to swing here. I'm still not sure if it was right or wrong. I think it depends on what happens next week. If he makes it past next week, everybody's going to say it was the right decision, or vice versa. So it's hard for me to gauge what I think of that still. But yeah, I think her messy gameplay got her here. And I also think that Anthony definitely just should have admitted that he's scared to lose a jury vote against him, because he's been such the face of everything.
Yeah, and honestly, for me, we're looking at someone who had to make a tough decision. They've been in a finale spot before and have lost after being 100% loyal to a crew all the way through. So at the end of the day, when you're in that game, playing that game, Dougie is trying to realize his best way to the end. He was trying throughout the game to keep people like Tola, and he worked really hard to keep Lexus weeks ago to make sure that he had different paths. And he just started to see that no matter what, if I take Spicy V, I'm donezo. And he started realizing, like, hey, throughout this game, Spicy V has done things in the game that benefits only Spicy V. Like, yeah, she had her hot chocolate, but at the end of the day, Avery and other people fell on that totem pole way higher than Dougie. At the end of the day, yes, we could sit here and say maybe it wasn't a good time to do it, but when was it? Because think about it now, Dougie is sitting in an amazing spot where, yes, he can't win HOH, but if Bailey doesn't win HOH and Lexus pull off a crazy thing and he could pull off a veto, could send Bailey straight out the door and ensure that he's sitting at the final 3 with a Todd and Alexis, where if he is sitting with either one of them, it's no way they give them the prize. Like, you might be, bitter and upset and mad, but you have to think about gameplay. He has finagled his way through a lot, and Spicy is sitting there because she literally was only prioritizing herself. Simple and plain. Yes, she's done things in games that work for certain people, but at the end of the day, Spicy was her own top tier person, and it wasn't. It just doesn't work like that when people start turning off the binoculars. I think Bailey and Todd would have continued to believe stuff like that, but you're dealing with Anthony, a seasoned, amazing man of manipulation, and he see the end game, and it wasn't with Spicy V at that point anymore.
I think what I would have liked to have seen from Anthony here, instead of getting her out at this point, is doing a lot of the things he was doing, but like prepping for final 3. So no matter who was in that final 4 position, like, they would have taken out Spicy unless she was vulnerable. Like, I think he should have planted the seeds maybe a little earlier and then kept her this week, because I think no matter what, if she would have kept him safe, if she won the veto in final 4, like, she would have taken him to final 3. I think he's super vulnerable now. Like, he could have laid the groundwork a little bit and then like taken the swipe either at 4 or at 3. And I think like leaving her in the house for this long and letting her marinate and then expose stuff and expose him and have that speech. Like, I just feel like it was all like net negative for him and net positive for Bailey. And I just don't think it was the right time.
I do think that you can spin this though, right? Like you can say now he can go and say the jury is already bitter at me. We clearly saw it with Victoria the way she just left. If I'm Bailey, I'm thinking, oh, like these people are not happy with him. Like he's so bitter, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, he may have done the moves, but he's also expressed specifically with Bailey how his game went down and how he lost to a bitter juror. And Victoria leaving like that, like he can milk it. So I do think it was a lot of negatives, 100%, but I don't think it's so negative to a point where he can't come back from it. But I'm gonna let other people speak.
Yeah, I think that this is one of the biggest blind spots for Anthony Douglas. Listen, I think Anthony's playing a fantastic game. He's on trajectory to being the first, I believe, player to ever get to the finale twice without ever being nominated. That's pretty awesome. Pretty amazing stat. The problem is this. I think both Victoria and Anthony were doing things in this game to prioritize themselves in case we were in a situation where they're both sitting next to each other and they need votes. That's what you're supposed to do. It's Big Brother. We lie. But at the end of the day, I do believe Victoria did want to take him to the end. Should Anthony have taken Victoria to the end? Absolutely not. But this is a thing of timing. It's not about, if she's actually loyal to you or not. At the end of the day, you're going to go into the Final Four now in a very, very specific route where you can't participate for the HOH. And it's all going to come down to a veto. It was going to go between, if she stayed, it would have been, let's say, if Bailey left, Todd, Victoria, and Lexus. 2 out of those 3 people would have definitely took it to the end. True. Now you're in a very interesting spot where you're in the Final Four with a duo who have one more competition than you guys. Especially Todd. I would hate to go against Todd. But Bailey's no slouch either. Mm-hmm. So now you go from a 3 to 4 chance against the end. Now it's a 2 to 2. And Lexus isn't the best out of these 4 in this comp. So this is a very dangerous scenario to be in. It's going to come down to a vote. And I'm going to be honest with you. If luck is not on his side, I could see Anthony getting sniped next round. Now, I understand Victoria is a threat. She was playing the middle. But she was also in a situation where she's the only person in the Final 5 with no Final 2s. Other than you. So I just think that we're in a situation where it's very dangerous. I understand we can get to what Victoria believes in and all that stuff, but I feel like regardless, a huge blind spot is here. It's not even Victoria that's the error. The error is that he has so much trust in Bailey that he allowed her to get to this point, didn't even nominate her. And this girl right now is gaining a lot of stock. We saw Tola talk about it. We just saw Victoria talk about it. And that's 2 people who are advocates for this woman going into the jury. I'm very scared
also an advocate for Bailey as well.
For sure. But I feel like everybody for weeks was like, oh, Victoria is like being snowed by Bailey. And it's true. But at the end of the day, I do believe she would have cut Bailey for Anthony.
Yes,
Anthony
I think so too.
Seems to have switched spots, and now he's like, I'm prioritizing Bailey over Vic, who wants to take me to the end. That's a huge error.
But it's also, I think it's huge because the thing is, at one point his mom was always clicking about one V out. So at one point, Bailey was head over heels, dead set. V is her person. So for him to be able to flip that, where he knew, like, hey, not putting her on the block, she have a good chance of winning. And even if Todd happens to pull it out, Bailey has a lot of influence where Bailey will be like, okay, Todd, like we could go to the end together, but she's going to look and see I have 2 ways to auto make it to the end. She's going to be so laser focused and needing Lexus out, because if Lexus pull any type of win, she knows she's the one going home. So she's going to work really hard this week, no matter what, finding about hot chocolate and everything, is to make sure that Dougie makes it through, because if Dougie pulls out that final 2, he'll pull Bailey, and Bailey feels that Todd will pull her. So she has that way to the finale no matter what. Let's promise you, I think that's how this week is going to go. So I think Anthony did an amazing job by allowing himself to swoop in and take that spot under Spicy. Because if we look back a couple weeks ago, we would have been dead set of like, okay, Anthony might want to start thinking about cutting Bailey or cutting Todd, like, because I just don't understand, first of all, how Todd and Bailey is still in the game, both of them still there. And then also V had, once Avery was gone, still had freaking Bailey. Like, it's just crazy. And I can't see Todd win this game. It's gonna piss me off if you do, just to let y'all know. Like, I need to make sure we need to make sure. Like,
I think the thing is, like, I think you're totally right. I think at the Final Four, especially at the veto, and Isaiah, I think you're right too. Like, Anthony would have had Spicy also riding for him in the veto competition, where if she won, I don't think she would have cut him. She would have cut, depending on who was left, right? Like, I think they should have gotten Todd out this week because he's the biggest comp threat. Because if he wins the veto at Final Four, he's going to do whatever Bailey says, and he's saving Bailey no matter what. Like, Bailey's good till to the final three if Todd ends up winning. Anthony doesn't have anybody fighting for him like that. He kept a clear duo in there, and Victoria would have done that for him. I really, truly believe that in the Final Four. Like, I really don't think she would have taken the shot at 4. I don't think she would have even had, like, Bailey take the shot at 4 necessarily. Again, it all depends on who's left. But if they got Todd out this week, Lexus would have been the clear one to go at 4, and then they could have had the final 3 and then been able to duke it out. Like, I really feel like that's Anthony's best path to the end. And I just feel like even now, she does feel like a really big blind spot for him, Bailey, because, like, the fact, you guys are so right. The fact that she didn't even touch the block when she has this guy doing everything for her, that's just like the mist of Bailey. I don't understand what it is and how she can just, like, tell people, like, don't do this, put up this person, put up Lexus, don't put up Todd, do this and don't do this. Like, I don't know how she got to this place of having so much influence over these people, especially the vets.
I think, like, my perception on that is when Spicy was playing both sides, Bailey on that other side was really one of her close allies. Bailey was playing for things that made sense for Bailey. Why the hell would you put up Todd against Tola? They're gonna vote him out. So I think in her trying to stay in the middle and not appear too much on Anthony's side to that side, she did a lot of bidding for Bailey. To me, she prioritized Bailey and Todd over Kayla and Avery. You can't tell. I don't think if those two would have been here, this would have went down like this. I really don't believe so. I'm worried that Anthony believes he can beat Bailey and has no idea what her game is. And I don't know if he's going to wake up to that. And it's going to be wild if he, like, gets to the end with her and loses, because I think that's what would happen, unfortunately.
No, I don't get twisted. I do think. Oh God.
I was just gonna say that, like, I think we're talking about the move of taking out Victoria from Anthony from an omniscient view, knowing what we know. But I do think it's important to highlight that you can only, as players, you can only go off of what you see, right? Victoria in the beginning, almost to a degree, played Anthony's game, and we talked about it. However, when she started to play a bit more selfishly, which is totally fine, like you're supposed to, you came into this game, there's only one winner. What she did is that she was doing moves and she wasn't realizing how much of a bigger impact they were having on Anthony, right? And so we understand as a collective that she would have not targeted him at Final Four, would not have, but he can only go based off what she has presented to him in this game. And at one point, she switched up. The exact power of veto was a big one. She won it and she could have picked Todd or Tola. She picked Todd, which is not what Anthony wanted, which I understand, again, selfish game, but it has effects on Anthony. It has effects on Lexus. It has effects on Tola. And then she did another move where it was like, Todd and Tola really played a big role in, like, establishing what side she was on, and she always picked Todd's side, which was not Anthony's side. And so I feel like the perspective that we're missing is the fact that he's going based off her actions. So yes, she's telling us in the DR, oh, that's my final 2. But I don't know. We've played minis. I have never had a final 2 with someone personally. I have never had a final 2 with someone and went and talked about my number 1 ally, like constantly making them a bigger threat to me. I have never done that. I have focused on my personal relationships, right? And I'm not comparing mini orgs to Big Brother, but I'm just saying, if you look at it relatively, it would make sense for him to be like, I don't think she actually has my back when she has done nothing, as you all mentioned, to do things to help him and their alliance, but rather Bailey and Todd and their alliance, which was confirmed that they had a final 3. So I think that's important to notice in terms of like looking at his perspective. But I don't want to also say that Bailey misted him. That was entirely his move. I'm going to pass the mic to Isaac because I know you're trying to speak, but like the misted narrative, we have to talk about it because I don't agree.
I do think she missed him to a degree.
Mhm.
I will say, so I think both of them did things this season that like they were trying to protect their own selves. I mean, if we talking executive power veto, he did the same thing where Tola was like, "Hey, I'm gonna lie to Vic and then actually do this instead of that," and then he like smiled about it. Like Anthony's done plenty of stuff this season as well to like look out for himself. And like I said, it's Big Brother. You're supposed to lie, like that's fine, you know. But at the end of the day, people are you know, I've spoken to some people on Twitter about this. It's like they're like, she made moves against Anthony. It's like, no, she made moves against Anthony's ally, just like Anthony made moves against Spicy's allies. That's what you're supposed to do. If you can't go after the person and you want to take them to the final 2, you take out all their other avenues, so they have to take you and they can't, you know, do what Anthony just did. What I will say, I do feel like Bailey is missing because come a couple weeks ago, nothing about Bailey was a factor for Anthony to want to work with, right? Like he did not want to work with Bailey whatsoever. He was telling people, let's target Bailey. The only problem is that Bailey got vetoed by Todd. And I'm sorry, Bailey kept winning competitions and Todd also kept winning competitions. So ultimately, they couldn't get her out. They kept trying to put these two on the block. They kept winning stuff. Boom. So, I mean, the part of Big Brother is adjustment. And I think that he adjusted to his surroundings and he's working with Bailey. But the problem is, I'm scared that I want to see what Anthony's really trying to do because he specifically said, even when Tola was in the game, my level of importance is Lexus, Spicy, and Bailey. Or was it Lexus, Bailey, Spicy? Something in that. I didn't hear Tola's name in that. I didn't hear Todd's name in that. These are people who Anthony could easily beat, right? Why are you putting this woman who he has said to her face is playing an amazing game? Why do you want to take that woman to the end? You know that you're not really working with her. You guys have made moves against each other. You've never been on the same side all season. What's going on there? Where did this come from? It's not because he sees her as a person he wants to sit next to. I don't think Anthony wants to sit next to her. But I think that there's a factor of Big Brother where people like living near you. People like hanging out with you. He's called her homie. I mean, his homie a bunch of times. It's like she has worked her way in with that social game to want to put herself in a position where, like, Anthony, instead of putting Bailey and Todd up, he put up Lexus, who is his like closest ally. There's an obvious duo sitting right here, and if one of them wins veto, you could still take out Spicy. You could look at this. He could have put up Bailey and Todd. One of them get vetoed, and guess what? Vic goes up, and then Lexus and him have all the power. Instead, he put Lexus up, and now that Todd came off the block, Todd and Bailey controlled the entire vote. If they really wanted to, they could have flipped this whole shit over, but they should have. He gave her so much power and didn't put her on the block, and that's
he's also risking Lexus in that situation because if Spicy did win the veto, like Lexus would have gone,
and he knows
Spicy wouldn't have used the veto, and Lexus would have been gone. So like he would risked her over risking Bailey, who has a number one in the game, and Todd, or someone that considers her his number one in the game. Like he put so much risk in putting up Lexus this week that I think is almost more shocking to me than like him going for Spicy at this time.
She's gotten Anthony so comfortable to the point where like he was like, nah, that's my homie. I'm not going to nominate. I'm going to put up Lexus instead. What?
No. Hold on. You guys you're saying that, Isaiah, but you have to remember also like he has to manage the relationships in the house.
We're on the same page.
He wanted to put Bailey up first. Let's not erase that. He wanted to put her up first. She freaked out. Oh, I don't want to go. Well, I don't want it. But Anthony, don't do that to me. You're supposed to be my fellow. You're crying. They're hashing it out. And so he does what I think is a crazy move, is to make someone feel comfortable going on the block. And he went up to Alexis. He went up to her. He misted, manipulated, whatever you want to use it, and got her to feel comfortable. There is no way in the Big Brother house. Bailey's reaction was absolutely correct. There is no way in the Big Brother house you're gonna put me up as a pawn. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you're my ally, you're not gonna do that. But Lexus, she's comfortable. So instead of making Bailey mad, and risking that, especially if the overall plan is to go after Spicy, don't make more people mad than you need to be.
Because look what ultimately happened.
So him getting Lexus to agree and be so cool with it is absolutely insane. I understand that you guys are saying, well, it was a risk, but did we not see the master plan be executed? There was no risk. He literally, there was a risk in the beginning, but he worked, and that's what made it diminish. They were not giving her a shot. There was no, oh, maybe we can keep Spicy V. She knew it was done with. That's why she didn't really campaign to them. She went, she was begging Dougie because he was the one making the shot. We can't. I do understand the fact that there was a risk, but he made it so that there was no risk. And that's what I think is important. And you guys are making it seem like it's just Bailey when he also was, he's playing the game.
No, Josanne, I think we're on the same page because I was just waiting to speak on that, because if we really look at the groundwork that was set, it's definitely been in the works. And for me, whenever the moment happened, like the argument you brought up where Bailey literally started freaking out, it's like, okay, let me sit here and process this as a game player. I have a duelist in the game who have been doing really well competition-wise. I want Spicy V out, so I need to make them feel really, really good. Lexus, she ain't really winning much. That's my girl. She's not, no matter what I decide to do, I just have to tell her some sweet nothings, because ultimately I saved her life, because she would be out where Kayla would be if we really want to get down and dirty. And this was the week that people was really exposing all the tea. I think it was just it was like cardinal game of manipulation that showcased that Dougie is one of the best to ever do it. Because like Josanne said, I cannot stomach the fact of my ally put me on the block and thinking it's gonna walk off scot-free. And I feel like he lost no type of agency with Lexus. Lexus, if she wins this HOH at 4, Dougie is making it to the final 3, not touching the block once again. All he has to do is make sure he won a veto to make sure Todd or Bailey out the door. And 9 times out of 10, yes, he might be stupid and vote Todd out going into final 3 with Bailey. But at the same time, I have to be the other side of the coin. Bailey was my winner pick from moment 1. And you got to give her the benefit of the doubt of her playing the game from moment 1. I saw it in. I was like, her and Avery are going to be top tier players this season. And look, out of the newbies, who were top tier players? Bailey literally found ways, didn't know nothing about no hot chocolate, didn't know nothing about a lot of the different side deals, but was able to maneuver herself all the way through. She was able to concrete Todd into groups and keep Todd in this game. So honestly, Anthony really shouldn't want, especially now that he done broke the camel's back with V. V was going to go in that jury. If anything would happen, a regular way of her going out would have win in that jury. Like Dougie been playing that game. It's me and Dougie played amazing as returnees. But now that she's gone, Bailey is that top tier person, and V has a lot of control over people like Ayla, over Avery, and even going to talk to people like Kayla and right those wrongs. Tola even said it before that Bailey has a good chance to win the game. So Anthony needs to really wake up and smell the coffee. Yeah, Bailey's your girl, but you need to be sitting next to Alexis or sitting next to Todd, because you could diminish Todd's game easily. You could diminish Alexis' game easily. And even if Spicy want to vote on the caveat of, hey, I'm mad at Dougie, you don't have to win unanimous. A win is a win, and you will win against Todd and Lexus. Simple and motherfucking plain. Bailey is winning this game. If she makes it to final 3, I don't see a way of her not making it to final 2. No
exactly.
shame.
That's my worry. I'm like, but she's gonna win. She's going to win if she gets there. That's just how I feel. I feel like she's gonna run away with this. The women in that Avery got the nerve to be mad about some hot chocolate. But I just feel like she's gonna
Let's
win.
speak on him.
And he is not seeing her as the jury threat that she is, because she's his
Mhm.
biggest threat right now. Like she might save him, but she gonna beat him. You know?
This is the thing too, and I feel like, to respond to what you guys are saying about the risk, like I think so much of that, yes, it was a great move by Anthony to be able to get Lexus to feel comfortable going on the block at Final Five as his supposed one of his number ones. Just as Spicy V had many number ones, so did he. Let's not get it twisted here, Dougie. Here he's guilty of doing the exact same thing that Spicy is. He was just maybe a little bit less messy, but I do think a lot of that is also due to Bailey playing on the offense and instead of playing defense. Like she has been playing hard and aggressive since the beginning, and that's how she's gotten Spicy to make moves that benefit her. That's how she's getting Dougie to make moves that benefit her. That's how she's still here at the Final Four with someone that's going to do her bidding, like Todd, because I really don't feel like Todd has agency over himself. And now she has Spicy V in the jury, who's bitter at Anthony, even though she says she's not going to be a bitter juror. She's going to go in there and tell everybody exactly what happened, and I do think that's going to be really bad for him. And I just think a lot of this chalks it up to Anthony making pretty poor decisions here, even though, like, yeah, there's no risk of losing Lexus. I think there was a risk that Spicy could have won the veto and she would still be here and he would have lost Lexus. There's a risk now that he burned Spicy so bad and that she obviously was very passionate about everything this week and exposed all of his final twos and his other alliances that no one else was aware of. That's a risk in itself of making this move so early and giving her that full week to be able to spill to everybody. And now Bailey is probably feeling some kind of way about it because it seems like she was uncomfortable with the final two comment. Now she knows about hot chocolate. Like, I do feel like, yes, in the moment, Anthony's move with Bailey was really good to manage that relationship. And I think that gained him trust. But now I think that trust is eroding away little by little over the week, and I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't think this was a good move on Anthony.
Because Bailey is not a dummy. She's gonna realize, like, hey, I could win for sure against Todd and Lexus. Like, maybe we just need to come together as newbies and finish the bidding that we did last week. And Bailey knows if she with Todd and Lexus that she's winning regardless too. So she's not a dummy. Like, her package from moment one gave like superstar, no shade, great Big Brother Can player. So I literally could see her being like, you know what? Yeah, Dougie did that to me last week, but it might be okay that I do that and, you know, chunk it up.
So I Bailey telling Dougie he's her number one. Well, so I did want to say this real quick. Shout out to MW for a $20 donation. That's fire.
Thanks, MW.
He said putting up Lexus on the block will pay dividends to Bailey. And it kind of ties into with everyone. I don't know if it really matters though. Like I feel like if it was a couple weeks ago or even up to this week, like that would mean so much because there's so much fodder still in the game. It's Final Four. Once that HOH is won, it like literally it just comes down to the veto and then one person is voting. So.
But she has Todd. It's her and Todd.
That's what I'm saying. And like, let's say in some world, Lexus gets HOH. Anthony is in a position where if he doesn't win veto, he goes home. Let's say Bailey or Todd get it. That's a pretty good standing. I'm not going to put my eggs in Lexus's basket. It's going to be either Anthony or one of the two that don't get HOH. I still think Bailey or Todd will snipe Anthony over Lexus. I even saw Lexus very friendly with Todd and Bailey this episode. I thought that was very interesting. But Bailey and Todd have been looking at Anthony for weeks now. You know what I'm saying? And like just because they had 1 week where they took out Victoria instead of them, I'm not convinced that that's going to be enough to stop them from unleashing their wrath if they have the opportunity to snipe the guy next week. You know, like it's Final Four. Like there's no more numbers, no more like it's duo versus duo. One person's going to vote, and whoever gets that vote is basically going to dictate how the rest of this game is played. Like it's straight competitions at this point. There's no more cross alliances unless Lexus pulls a Hail Mary and jumps side and it throws Anthony under the bus and then comps their way to the end. I think is literally just comes down to comps. That's how this game is structured at this point. Whoever wins the specific competition at specific points, that's how you're going to win the game. I don't think that there's literally anything else to do with this at this point. Like I said, unless someone pulls a Dan Giesling and convinces one side to flip on their partner, this game it just comes down to comps at this point. That in my opinion.
I agree with most of the sentiment, but I do think we're undermining the importance of relationships. I know that it might not seem much because the Final Four has always traditionally been HOH and POV. If you win those, you're safe. You make it to the end. You either your VOV and then you get your vote, whatever. But I do think it is important to acknowledge the importance of relationships. And it might not seem like much, but we don't get feeds from that entire day. I have never seen someone have a one-on-one so intense like Bailey and Dougie did. And I'm not saying that Bailey's number one is Anthony. I don't think that's the case. But if you watch the digital dailies, you'll know what conversations we're talking about. But they're talking about their past. Like, it's not fully like detailed, but there's conversations about Bailey's past and why it's important for her not to be betrayed and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She's crying, he's crying, they're talking. And it's an intense conversation. And I don't think that means that Dougie's her number one, but I do think that the emotion was so raw, so intense that it could have payoff later on in the line. All you need is just one thing, one small thing. And it might be small and it might be minute and it might not seem like much, but it could be just enough to change something. Any variable, any element can change the trajectory of the Big Brother game. We have seen it all season. We did not think that Vivek was going to put up Dennis. We did not think that Avery was going to put up Kayla. We did not think that all of these things would happen this season, but they have. And so I understand the general concept of Big Brother in terms of like why the Final Four POV is so important, but it's a social experiment. And there are elements about relationships that cannot be forgotten. That is why every season of Big Brother is so different. So I understand why people might be like it wasn't much for him not to put up Bailey, but it could pay dividends because let's say Todd wins HOH and Bailey has to cast a vote over Todd and Lexus. She doesn't have a relationship with Lexus like she does Anthony, whether it's good or bad. And she could cut him as a game player. But Bailey is also someone, and this is what I like about her, she plays with her heart as well. Like, that's why I don't think her missed, and I think someone had said it previously, I don't think her missed is intentional. I think it's there, but I don't think it's intentional as much. So that's why it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, this is entirely Bailey's missed and manipulation. Benjamin said it, I found it. There is miss and there is manipulation, but I don't entirely think that it's super intentional. But she has that power because that's just who Bailey is, because she plays with her heart. So I don't want to skip by that week. Do I think there was a lot of risks? Yes, but I do think there's payoff, and we have to acknowledge that. That's the only reason I'm defending it. I'm not an Anthony defender, but I feel like I have to say that. Okay.
Listen, and I agree with you. I'm just like, if I'm going in, like I said, I've only seen 4 seasons of Big Brother Canada, but if I'm bringing U.S. history with that Canada history, unless there's like unless Anthony's him, you know what I'm saying, and like does something that we haven't seen before.
He is.
He's great, but unless he does something that I haven't seen before, like especially in this like structure, there's 2 duos. I just have a hard time seeing anything change. Like,
but he's done
your
it.
best bet.
Yeah,
I'm just saying he will be the first person in like ever to do it at this point.
Y'all gonna
like,
gag when Lexus win that HOH. Y'all gonna gag.
That's horrible if Lexus gets that HOH. That's what I'm saying. You should not want Lexus to get this HOH because he needs him and Lexus to go against whoever is that outlier to get that one vote. He should not want Lexus to get that. So if Lexus gets HOH, he's done. Unless he wins veto, he's done. Like, I'm just saying he's in a very risky situation.
Absolutely.
I also think. I'm sorry. No, you finish.
Go ahead.
I also think that this week was so dominated by Spicy and Anthony conversations with each other that Todd even said it, like with them sharing, Lexus sharing, oh, this is what Spicy said to me and Dougie, and then them saying, like, this is what she said to us. That pushed the 3 of them closer, while Dougie was having to deal with Spicy and the fallout and the one-on-ones and then the other one-on-ones and more one-on-ones and then the fights and whatever. You see the 3 of them hanging out, chatting, having a relationship, giggling in the bathroom. Like, that's not really good for Anthony either, because they're bonding over this. And now, especially that Spicy also, Anthony, like we said multiple times, has been doing the same thing. And now Spicy exposed that with Anthony. The three of them are close enough now, it feels like, over this week, especially with only 4 of them left in the house. They're going to keep sharing. There's more opportunity for them to decide, like, you know what, Spicy said this, and this. We didn't know about it. Maybe Lexus is going to share more about hot chocolate because she knows about it. That could not be good news for Anthony because of things like Bailey playing with her heart and saying, like, oh, I went against my number one for you because of all the things you told me she said. But in reality, you had a final 2 with her, and you were in this alliance that I wasn't even a part of this whole game. So now I don't trust you. Like, I just think it's a high, but it's also like a really steep fall for Anthony because of all the things that Spicy shared. And then it seems like how close Lexus, Todd, and Bailey got over the week.
But everything that's said about Anthony is reflections of each other, right? Like, you're saying there wasn't an alliance that she was a foremost, which she was in a whole girls alliance without him. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these, and this is why I'm selective memory, and I'm going to let Janelle and Lance and the rest of you speak. But I think that's something that I want to highlight later on, is the fact that a lot of what's being said is a reflection of a lot of people's others' games. And I think that's what kind of takes me off, because it's like, if you hadn't played the game you did and you said those criticisms, I'd be like, okay, valid. Mm-hmm. But you did the exact same thing and then some. But alas, anyways, I'll let you guys talk.
Oh, well, I was going to say that. Oh, go ahead, Janelle.
My thing is, I don't understand, or at least we haven't seen it from my memory, why this whole Anthony Spicy blow up, everything's coming out, spilling out all over the place, doesn't make Bailey and Todd say, let's freaking keep her. Because Spicy obviously she's going to cut him. She's so pissed at him. She's not going to keep him. Right now, it's 2 versus 2. We were talking about that. It could be 3 versus 1.
Yep.
I would certainly keep a pissed off Spicy over Lexus, who is going to honor whatever Dougie wants. She sat on the block for him. So I don't understand why all of this mayhem didn't make Todd and Bailey think, so Spicy can go against me all she wants, but if she's going to take out Anthony and not me, if I'm sitting next to him, I need to keep her because Lexus will vote out Bailey over him and Todd over him. I don't know why that was a conversation.
I ain't going to hold you. It's like I said, it comes down to comps at this point. And it's like, all right, like, in my opinion, Vic being in the Final Four would have been terrible for every single person that's not Anthony. Like I'm just telling you right now, Vic is the most lethal person in competitions out of everyone left, and she could have easily comped her way to the end. And I feel like it was a great move for a Bailey, a Todd, and Alexis for Vic to leave this round. Like they did not need 2 vets in the Final Four. Like, I'm just telling you, all we know, they could have just locked something back in after one conversation. Like, I just don't think that it would have been anything beneficial for those two, because they would have been like, let's try this again. You know, like you saw Victoria, she was like, let's try to mend this, let's try to fix this. It wasn't until like she was really like, all right, like, F it, like, I'm not staying, I'm breaking glass, like, I'm out of here. But you know what I'm saying? But I do want to say, coming into the season, a lot of people were like, Vic is used to having horrible jury management. She ain't gonna win. I honestly think she was gonna win against anybody. I think the script is very reversed. Now I'm looking at Anthony, who he lost his first season because of bad jury management. It's not looking too good. I still think he can win. I think he is the first or second biggest win equity out of everybody in this cast left right now. I think he has a lot of friends on jury, even though he has a pissed off Vic. I'm not going to count Vic to not vote Anthony, especially if he's sitting next to Lexus. I think Lexus and Todd are locked in to be runner-ups this season because I don't see Bailey and Anthony sitting next to each other. I'm wondering, is there a path that Anthony loses to Alexis or Todd? I'm not going to lie. Todd might shock people. It seems like a lot of people like Todd. And I'm watching.
He's not going to be able to articulate his game. He's not going to be able to articulate his game. Have you been watching
in the deals when he was talking to the camera? He was like, they think I'm dumb. I'm not really dumb.
He's not going to be able to articulate. He's going to get up there and he's going to be like, I haven't watched
Big
Brother at all. I haven't watched much Big Brother. And coming in this game, I was so happy to play the game that I was playing.
Nah, Todd's not winning.
Todd's not going to be able to articulate his game, simple and plain. So like you said, they are locked in as finalists no matter what. But Bailey as Anthony are probably going to sit next to each other, and we're going to be gagging. And Anthony's going to be Paul 2.0 when we thought Victoria was going to be Rachel 2.0. So sad, so sad.
Is there a chance that Lexus in Tide click up?
No.
These guys.
No.
If they were smart, that's what they would do.
They should, but they're not.
They're not. Bailey has him wrapped. Anthony has her wrapped, and they both gonna be two wrapped people.
They're competing for second place at this point.
I'm not saying that Bailey and Anthony being in the final two together is not possible. I think Bailey has a really good game.
Yeah.
But it just reminded me a little bit of a conversation, kind of like deja vu of what we had about Ty and Claudia. We were like, there's no way she's bringing in the final two.
True.
This man has been the threat. He's been winning comps. There's no way. And she brought him, And so
lost.
I don't want to even say that that's not in the realm of possibilities because you never know. Expect the unexpected. Hello. But I do think that, I think he has made the jury bitter. But then the bitterness weighs off because we were convinced the last season that Ty was not going to win. We were convinced. We were like, he has a good game, but we were like, the jury, And then we get to the jury roundtable, and I was gagged. I was gagged that Jonathan hadn't voted for Claudia, being that they were from the same area. So, I don't want to start counting jury votes, but I do hope that whoever's doing the jury, their tea. Because there's a lot of hypocrisy, there's a lot of selective memory.
I hope a T's are clocked. No shade.
No, okay. Can we actually talk about the jury segment? Because
let's talk about the jury segment.
About that. I'm gonna let y'all talk about it first, but that was very insightful to say the least.
Do you guys Josie, you know Big Brother Canada more than me. Are the jury segments, because I feel like the jury segments in the US are not often accurate. Do we feel like Canada is a little bit more accurate and people are telling their truth of what they think, or is it just kind of put on for the camera? Because I really don't trust the US jury segments to be telling me a real story.
I think the edit was very interesting because I'm going to go based off the information that I gathered through Exit Press. When I interviewed Kayla, she had already talked about how she had already spoken with Elijah. Okay. She had made it a point. It's on the clip. So I don't know at what point, because let's say the evictions happen early in the afternoon today. That means when I speak to them, there's been at least approximately 12 hours. At least. There could be more. So they're probably engaging in conversation. Now, when I interviewed Tola, I said, what are you going based off of? What are the criteria you're voting off of? And he did mention loyalty. However, when I spoke to him and I asked him his ranking, Anthony was number one. Yeah. So the edit was very confusing to me because was this filmed before or after we spoke? Because in my mind, maybe also because of the double eviction, I don't know. But in my mind, I'm like, Tola would vote for Anthony, but the edit made it seem like not really. I do think the edit is very interesting because I don't know when it was in terms of sequencing from my conversation and other exit and interviews that are done by whoever else. But it's hard to say because I think anything can change. Whoever's the fourth jury member can have a big impact on how people are feeling. More information will be revealed. And I think, for example, if Bailey is the fourth boot, like a Cassandra, an iconic fourth boot, Ika Wong, we have them, the iconic women of the season. Mm-hmm. If she gets in there and she's like, oh, you didn't tell me about hot chocolate, you were in alliance, but I thought you were with me, maybe people might think, oh, wait, shit, I kind of did the same thing Anthony did to me to other people. You just don't know. So it's hard for me to say. I do think there are seasons where it's very obvious. Season 1 was a big one. You can tell who was against who. People were bitter, the house down boots. That's why we got that Topaz moment. But this season, it's really hard to say because I do think a lot of them are voting off of gameplay. But I think people want to vote for people who've been loyal to them in a game where half of them haven't been loyal to each other. So it's very weird.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope cheers are clocked. It's crazy. Sorry, I don't know if I said that, but that was really funny if I did.
No, it was me. I realized that after the fact. I was like, but okay.
Okay, so lastly, Victoria's out. How do we feel about that little blow up? That was kind of crazy.
Give me life.
Oh my God. You know what? Canada gets down. I've been telling y'all, open up the castings for the Canadians because we get down. We can be a little polite, but we get down. There's always a good fight on the show, right? We had Kuzi versus Zach versus and
Mhm.
Ty versus Hope, and then now we're getting Victoria versus Anthony, Victoria versus Tara. Like
Yeah,
we
Victoria versus Tara was
down
good.
nasty and gritty up in Canada, okay?
She
But
topped it.
but I
She
think
did.
what makes this fight so different and a little bit more intense is that they had a relationship prior to coming into the house. And I do
I think it
think
snapped.
I
Oof.
think Victoria was devastated. Like I can't imagine getting casted on a show and then losing the first time and then getting the chance to live my dreams a second time and getting sniped.
And
Like
then thinking it was an all-star coming into the show.
yeah, like
Let's
and
be
like
clear. They thought
by
it was
Anthony.
all-stars.
So the emotions were raw and real. And like, I want to give her a little bit of empathy and grace. Do I think you need to start throwing stuff and like breaking things? Absolutely not. Like, that's a zero. That's a no. Like, that's
Iconic TV moment. Give
Love
her
it.
her time.
iconic,
She's
but
mad. Give it
it's
to
iconic.
her.
But like, when I'm thinking about like the realities of like their friendship, like, I just like,
But that's how you could tell there's real emotion. And like how betrayed she felt. Like I was watching that and I was like, dude, she must be devastated right now. Like, especially when you get to Final Five so close and you think this guy is with you to the end. And as much
so
as she
deliberate.
was messy, yeah, like she really was loyal to him at the end. She would have taken him over everybody. So for him to snipe her in that way and turn the whole house against her, that was just like pure raw emotion and hurt from her. And like, I don't know, I loved every second of it. I'm here for it. I see Adrian in the chat said it was almost a Teresa Giudice table flip. And I also am a tree hugger for the Real Housewives of New Jersey girlies out there. So that's why I love Teresa and I loved Spicy V in this moment. I loved it.
But it's something we didn't pinpoint, but if you think about it, if the shoe was on the other foot and Vic didn't feel that she would win against Dougie, it would be another thing. I think we're not addressing that. She knew, like, yeah, I could take Dougie and be loyal to Dougie because I'm winning. She had that jury locked. Yep. No shade. So when you could play the game like that and feel that way, that I was going to be 100% loyal because you wouldn't have had no blowback and it would have benefited only Spicy V. But that argument was good and it was good to watch and it was good to see. I love reality TV mess and the drama side of it. Like, it just gave me a fun nostalgia. I was sitting there watching the clip. I'm like, okay, yeah, give it to it.
Listen,
so I love it.
I about died when he said you signed up for this. I was like, damn.
Oh, it was so messy.
I was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I know. I was like,
I said, oh, she is gonna release that anger later.
So she was playing nice for a minute. Listen, people are saying that she shouldn't have broke that. I thought she should have broke more and got this.
Yeah, I'm not mad.
Feel me? I would have been like, boom, it's over. I would have been like, break all the plates, throw everything out, bro. Fire, okay? That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the reason why it's hard for me to like be like, oh, like this is such good TV is because I can't see them as characters. Like usually I watch the show and I'm like, I don't know these people, I don't really care about. And not to say that I know Anthony or Spicy V, but I've interacted with both of them. I've seen like the human side of them. So it's really hard for me. I think in this situation, like to me, it's not just like contestants on a reality show. It's like the people I've seen interact and like actually like headbutt. Like let's say Katie, let's say you got on a show and like you're doing that, I'd be like, Katie girl, like because I know you, like, you know, and I like so yeah. I think that's
but I feel like this is a human moment between them. And that's why I felt like it resonated. Like, you know, we see fights all the time. Like Kuzi and Zach was a good fight. Tara and Spicy V was a good fight, but like, they don't really know each other. These two know each other. There's real feelings behind it. There's hurt behind it. And I don't know. I just think Anthony was kind of playing with her a little bit because just admit exactly what you said, Lance. Like Spicy V was good to bring him because she would have won. Like just say, I can't beat you, Spicy. That's why I'm taking you out. I have to do what's good for my game. I can't beat you.
Doing all
Don't
that.
put it behind this whole
No.
thing of like, you went against me and you were dogging me to the whole
I'm
house.
doing
Like
that-
you
I'm
were
doing
doing
that
that too, bro. So like, don't do that shit. Like that's the thing I don't like. Like, I don't know. I just felt like he was kind of lying to her face a little bit about his true reason. Like he was insecure that she was going to beat him. And that's that at the end. And I really feel like that's what drove him to make this
I
move.
ain't saying that. I'm
I feel like-
gaslighting.
I
I'm
feel like
gaslighting.
she only did that after the Matt thing. Like I genuinely saw him protect her and him steer people away from her until the Matt thing, until he started waking up. Then
Rocking the tea.
Then I saw him
Mhm.
telling Lexus things. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like
I
really-
get that, but like for Spicy, Matt was not in their group. Tola
Right.
was not in their group. Vivek was not in their group. Like, yeah, they brought them in at points and they were using them, but like that was not a core. Yeah, but like hot chocolate, if hot chocolate was it, like
Yeah.
they're not hot chocolate. So like
But hot
you
chocolate
can't
was
be
never
so
it.
mad.
It was never fucking it.
That's my issue. Like it was if
No, I know,
Victoria
but like
was
if
loyal
he's
to
saying
hot
that,
chocolate,
right?
Like yeah.
The lines that he formed, by the way.
But my point is like if he's saying all that, like hot chocolate is
Yeah.
it, whatever, he shouldn't be so hurt or mad or whatever, or feel whatever kind of way he's feeling about Matt
Yeah.
and Tola and whoever. Like Spicy could be like, who cares? They're not part of hot chocolate. What are you so mad about? Why do you care? And then it's like, oh, so you're playing getting close to people on the other side of the house too, just like I'm doing, just like you're mad at me for doing, like exactly like you're saying, Josie. It's selective memory. Like he was doing the same thing. Spicy was just a little messier and was talking a little too much.
It was
Listen,
better.
And also she got so comfortable, y'all. Like it's many
Yeah.
times when she pans to the camera and she's like,
Yes.
I'm not
Y'all,
going this
I'm
week.
not this week.
Oh.
You know, it's Spicy week. Hey, you know, you're going home. It's your turn, Lexin. It's your turn, Caleb. Todd, you're done. Tola, bye-bye. Like, let's be clear.
Yeah.
Listen,
The
right or
edit this week was
wrong,
so cringe, by the way, because
Yeah,
like we all
Gaga.
knew, and like all the episodes this week put her in such a. I was like, oh, this is hard to watch, knowing what we know.
I think Victoria did get comfortable, and I think Anthony's been comfortable in one way, and I think she's been
Oh, for
comfortable in
sure.
another way. But I think she said it like when Victoria says things, and I'm like, what? Because she after the nominations were done, she goes into the room. Me and
Yep,
Bailey can decide
exactly.
the vote. It doesn't matter what Anthony has to say. But aren't you preaching that's the number one? Look, was it the plan? You know, we can do whatever we want.
Exactly. Like,
And then she got
her.
And that's why like I think I get Victoria's emotions. You know, even that fight, like I think also when I enjoy a fight, it's because one person's wrong, in my opinion. Like that Zach and Kuzi fight, like Zach was just
Yeah.
let's be real. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna talk to Zach. You know, so I'm just gonna be real. That argument, Zach looked horrible. Queen Kuzi to the
Of course. Yeah.
Every argument I have a side. This argument, I had no side. So I was just like, oh my God, like I can't.
Well, based on tonight,
My
it's
side was the
giving
argument.
Dougie. It's giving
Your side
Dougie
was
for you.
your fun
Justine.
TV. Your team fun TV. So
Mhm.
I just think the entire thing was very messy, like very, very messy. But I just Victoria, she felt comfortable. She felt too.
I'm telling you, it's the hair
they
behind the
both
hair.
listen. They both felt comfortable when they shouldn't.
Yeah,
have
but
time.
Anthony's HOH, she can feel comfortable.
I mean,
like she's not.
a couple of weeks ago, Anthony was talking spicy to the cameras too, and then
Mhm.
I mean,
the executive
Spicy
thing-
this-
but if we have to do a count of who had the most cans, we know who the winner. Like that's exactly how she.
the amount of time Anthony was like, "Are you not entertained?" He
Yeah,
was like,
it's true.
I'm the GOAT. The amount of shit I
He's
see
him.
Anthony talk.
He's
But
him.
look, actually, listen. They both understand.
They
They're on a
both be
TV
doing it.
show,
Let's be fucking
and they
real.
know why they were brought back. There's no logic in Big Brother. You gaslight somebody. You know what I'm saying?
So,
Don't give me a reason. If you give me a reason, I'm using it. You know what I'm
I've
saying?
been
It doesn't need
away.
to make sense.
I've been away, but did y'all ever clock tea about? Remember episode 1, Avery? Like, if it's returnees, we gotta get them out. And look how
Dude,
close she
Avery
was.
gives me
And
such
her
secondhand
number one, I love
embarrassment.
it too.
Was big. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I just didn't know if y'all ever clocked that.
No, it was very hard for me
But-
because Avery's on my draft, and you know I ride for my draft, so I couldn't defend her and I couldn't go against her. So I said I was very new on Avery.
She has the most cringe energy out of anybody on this cast. I hate to say.
Absolutely. It melted. Spicy's her favorite player. Like she said that before the season.
And
So
Caston
when you
knew
saw
that.
Spicy, Yes.
Cassie knew what they was doing.
Yes.
Cassie knew what they was
Avery
doing.
V. That's who her new name is. Avery V.
I do like this comment from Adrian that says,
Yes.
I just know if BBUS live feeds, this fight would have been have Skivvy overtime. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is so funny.
I need to see this on the dailies though. Like, they need to release the full footage because I am sick that we didn't get to see. This is the type of thing that would have, if we had feeds, would have had us all at our computers or wherever on our phones. Everybody would have been live tweeting. Everybody would be watching the feeds. It would be everywhere, and we would watch it from the beginning to the lackluster fight that we saw between Flop Corey and Jared last season. Everybody was freaking out. That was like literally a 1 out of 10, and this is like a 10 out of 10. And the world blew up over that lame ass fight. Imagine this fight. Oh my God, we would have been on fire. We would have been on fire.
There's a problem with that. It's like this. There's no pleasing this fandom. So like, they give us what we're going to see in the episode. Oh, why do they give us all the footage that when we're just going to see in the episode? I'm bored. All right, then we don't give it. Man, why didn't we get this in the dailies? I would have loved to see it. There's no pleasing these people, bro. So it's like they just do what they want. I love it when they don't drop dailies some days because I'm like, oh, I know we about to get a classic. Every time they do that, I'm like, something crazy about to happen.
Yeah.
So like, I get it.
The episodes this year have been so top tier that like my mom has never seen Big Brother Can, but I was visiting her for a week and we literally watched from the beginning because I needed some catch up, and she was like, oh my God, like what kind of house is this? What kind of this? I'm like, Mom, you don't understand. And she was hooked. So she called me tonight. She was like, after Survivor, did you watch Big Brother Can? I say, girl, I did. So
I feel like I'm in the same boat as you, Vance. So Lance, my mom got into an accident, so she's been like sitting at home because she hasn't been able to do much, which she's okay. She's fine now. But she's been like actually watching reality TV. Usually I have to drag her to watch Survivor and Big Brother. And she's more on schedule on Survivor than I am.
Literally.
And we have been FaceTiming.
I can show you the text. Like, it's so funny
about the season, and this is such a good season, y'all. The episodes have been delivering each and every single time, and I just feel like it's not gonna stop. Like the show's ending in a week, and like there's just so much game to be played that
But y'all know Big Brother Can got to work every year to get their renewal, unlike Big Brother US. So hey, do what you do, and I'm so happy it's delivering.
Big Brother US top tier. Hey, Jag. Yeah, Jag. Jag, Matt.
I just love those moments where everybody comes together and like the adrenaline is pumping and we're watching something unfold in real time. Like that's such an unreplaceable or irreplaceable feeling. Like Adrian even says here, like when 6 Shooters fight got leaked and we all watched it, like that was like an all-time moment. As much as we all hate everybody on that cast, every single one of them except for Kemi, like I just feel like that was such a like we don't get those moments all the time, and they're so few and far between.
When 6 Shooters, what season is this?
21. Okay, we like Jessica, and I think we like Obi, right? We like 3 of them.
Wasn't that leaked by not Spoiler Girl, Vegas?
No, I think Vegas or somebody.
Vegas spoiled that. Big Brother didn't want to see in that. We just got lucky that production had a leak. That was Vegas. That was not Big Brother.
That is true. So it was a leak.
Let's be
but
honest.
Still, those real-time moments when we all come together at the same time as a Big Brother fandom and all like the conversations all happening, those moments I just feel like are so few and far between. So this is the only time this season, I think the dailies have been great, but this is the only time this season where I'm like, damn, this is something I would have loved to watch in real time.
Yeah, because we didn't see all of it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, hopefully tomorrow we'll see it all.
That cutting room floor, baby. Arissa Cox continued to deliver. I'm so
love her.
I know go ahead, Isaiah.
No, I was gonna say, even though people are like somehow still convinced that like this is a bad cast and everything, I'm loving this cast.
I'm very entertained.
I still don't want to see a majority of them. Look, I ain't gonna hold you. I still don't want to see a majority of them like more than like 90% of them back.
But people only say that because like the newbies didn't do what like regular newbies would have done, and like got them out. Like they let Spicy V and Anthony make it to top 5 together.
But this isn't Big Brother 14, that was a bad newbie cast. Like this is actually like they're entertaining.
Because they could have held their own without an Anthony and Spicy V. I feel we would have got crazy. We would have got, Bailey still being crazy with whoever was there. We would have got Avery thinking she was Casey Clark. Like we would have got a lot this season, no matter what, So let's go.
There hasn't been a single person this cast I dislike either.
And-
now that I think
And
about it.
it's also showing like the U.S. alternate rule. Like Tola wasn't even supposed to be there and ate up. Like, let's be real, Tola ate. I love me some Tola.
Usher.
Yes, that part. But also, like, to your point, it's like, as much as like I remember being like the newbies are going, like, aren't waking up. The people who did got sniped, and that's really due to like the vets games. Like
Yeah,
Janine was on it from jump,
the first
sniped.
like, four
Dennis.
evictees.
Donna was going after Anthony, sniped. Dennis, like, going after Anthony, sniped. Like, they at least tried. You know what I mean?
And then Vivek.
No, Vivek, he was trying to ride with the vets. I can't give that to him. I'm so sorry to see you, King, but like, let's not say the spade. Like, you know, like you was tried. Like, let's be for real.
He disappeared to the ether since he got.
No, he be tweeting.
A word?
Yay!
Oh, I would take a leave of absence from the internet if I were Vivek.
No shit. It was the cry for me. When my mom saw it, she was like, "Oh my god, this cry!" I was like, "Mom, he's hurt. He's hurt, baby." It was that cry.
He hurt himself.
The last thing is like, it's so funny how like quickly like people in this community switch their narrative. Coming in, everyone's like, Anthony and Victoria about to steamroll this season. I don't feel like watching this. Now,
and then you also had the ones who say they're going to flop. Like, why would you only bring 2 returnees?
Look, they finally got what they wanted. The newbies have taken control, and Bailey might win right now. Okay, everyone's like, Victoria and Anthony are winning, and y'all gonna let? Man, this season sucks. Pick which one you want, bro. Because
you can't please everybody.
We're fickle. We are fickle.
Like, pick one, bro.
I'm team my draft. Both a returnee and a newbie. So let's do hope that.
I'm team fun
I got
feeds.
Bailey.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're winning, Janelle.
I know. Great.
Don't play. I have Anthony. Don't play.
Don't play. You're winning, Joseanne. Because I'm an Anthony stan. No share, y'all. Dougalicious, Poutine Poppy.
I think I have the winner and a Canada's favorite in my draft, which is kind of an eatery, if you will.
Who's your Canada's favorite?
Todd
it's going to be Todd.
Canada's favorite.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Todd just because of where he's from. Just off of that.
No, not even that. I don't know if you guys saw the BBCAN awards. They have a little category that's just Toddisms. Like, they are pushing Todd. Like, it's the
Seriously?
Todd show. Like, I don't think he's gonna win in terms of like strategy, but he will win Canada's favorite. Like, it is what it is. So I think
and
that
if you look at the trajectory of Canada's favorites, most of the
we
time
got Marty, we got Jonathan, we're gonna get Todd. Who was before Marty?
Oh God.
Is this Spicy?
Kiefer.
No, it was Kiefer, not Spicy.
Kiefer won. Yeah, a man has only one Canada's favorite.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, maybe they might give to Spicy V.
Yeah, I mean, how are we not going to get Spicy V?
Y'all be for real. I said this last week. I'm gonna say it again. We are not a united nation. I said it is too late for this season to come together and pick one person. I think someone tweeted, we're voting for Kayla as Canada's favorite. I said,
you're
gonna get the Bailey stance to vote for Kayla. You're gonna get the Spicy. No, like, we are not a united.
I like
front.
Kayla though.
Look,
So
I like Kayla too.
Facebook and the Casuals are a united front, and it is the Todd show. So like,
we need to vote Vivek. Most entertaining in the season.
Actually, just give it.
Janine.
He was the
Janine Queen face card never declined. I'm sorry, her face card is insane. I will say it to the day I die.
She would have ate this season up if the Vets wasn't there. She would have ate this season up. Let's be clear. Her and Bailey would have been a dynamic duo. Watch.
I think so. Yeah.
She would have worked with Donna. You tripping?
I don't know. Maybe I am talking about you. I don't know who tweeted it, but I saw the tweet. But someone tweeted about being Kayla, and I would vote for Kayla for Canada's favorite. Like, I would vote for any of the women to be Canada's favorite. But
I'm not voting for Avery.
You can't vote. You're not from Canada.
Well, I'm not using my VPN to vote for Avery.
Joseanne, the only one that can actively vote in this call.
Yeah, I exercise my right to vote. I voted for the BBCAN Awards, and when Canada's favorite comes around, I will exercise my vote. Okay,
not for Avery though. No, you can't do that.
The best player in the house, Avery.
A vote for
I'm
Avery.
the best Big Brother player in this house.
She's gonna vote
Okay, girl.
Jackalicious.
Go
Everyone
ahead,
in the
Calm
comments
Queen.
agree, not Avery is correct.
Back-to-back HOHs. I know that's right.
Period. We love to see it.
She's
Don't
in
play
for
with her.
such a rude awakening what people think of her game.
No one's
Okay.
gonna think of her game.
She's gonna gag. She is gonna
It's
gag.
just
No one's gonna
crazy.
think of her game.
I mean,
I've seen a
okay,
lot
to
of
be fair,
other bad players have a lot of opinions. Bad players in previous seasons have a lot of opinions. I think that's a little crazy too.
I
Listen,
know you're
Avery
not going to
wasn't-
name names, but I want to know who you're
No.
talking about.
No.
Here's what I'll say about Avery. Whether you like her or not, she won some competitions. She did moves that will be talked about. Put it up, Matthew and Kayla. Like you guys are we're gonna talk about that for a while. Let's be serious, you know.
So
Like, and she's Spicy V's daughter. Like we've been calling her
not her daughter.
Come on,
Not her daughter.
Like,
So Joseanne, do we get the privilege of seeing you do exit season press this year?
we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But I did want to talk about Avery because I wanted to clock her hypocrisy.
Okay.
I wanted to clock her hypocrisy
Jeez.
because she said, yeah, like Anthony wasn't loyal to hot chocolate. Were you loyal to hot chocolate?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Did the first member of hot chocolate not leave on your HOH?
I was about to say on her
Like,
HOH, baby.
The only
So
people who
infuriating.
get to complain about loyalty are Elijah, Kayla, and Tola, the people in the jury. Those are the only people who can complain about loyalty. And even to a fault, like, well, he wasn't loyal to Kayla, so I'm not going to speak on that. But those are the only three people who get to complain about loyalty, right? And I thought it was very interesting. And I don't know if you caught that, but when they were watching the double eviction and they saw Spicy V win, Kayla and Avery were like saying the same thing at some point. Like they were like, yeah. And I was like, Kayla, sister, did you not forget she's the one who got you here? Like,
Wanna know why? Because
mean,
Spicy
what
V
makes
can
sense?
complain because she's a queen. Okay, she's allowed to complain.
I'm not
I don't
talking about
care what
Spicy
no one
V. I'm talking about
Spicy V's not complaining?
I'm making it about Spicy V. She can complain.
Well,
I also want to say justice for Izzy because Avery was nowhere near as entertaining
Yeah.
as Queen Izzy was on the feeds. Well, I mean, we don't have feeds, but still, Avery is not. We're not laughing with Avery.
one of them can play the flute and the other can't. That's all I'm gonna say.
Listen, I was just happy
That's what I'm gonna
we
say.
didn't have a season full of dailies with that damn baby voice. Oh my- Did you hear her on the daily?
I want to fuck them up. That's what I want.
I'm sorry, Izzy's an icon.
She is.
An icon.
Like,
Yes, I got Izzy.
hey, like, oh my God, is he icon nation? Like you,
Yes.
ate, like you ate, like.
Where did we get? How did we get here? Please.
Like, I love Izzy. Sorry.
How did we get here?
Um,
Y'all gonna gag when Izzy ass gonna be on the Amazing Race twirling it up, baby.
Please.
I would love it. Maybe then she'll come on the podcast.
All right, we got anything else we want to talk about, or before we start closing out? Y'all?
Let's do. You know how Joseanne been doing her interviews, her rankings. So let's do ours.
Oh, I like that.
So mine is going to be Tagalicious, Bailey, Todd, Lexus. Lexus have no chance. I have no chance. And Bailey was my winner pick from the beginning. So, bam, let's go.
I am gonna go with Dougie as well, then Bailey, Lexus, Todd.
Okay.
I like her better. I feel sorry for how the women did her dirty.
No, they did her so dirty.
No, they did.
And I can't wait for her to get her man after this
Right.
game.
Yeah, Drake.
She was consistently loyal until she was like forced not to be. So I feel
And I'm
sorry.
happy she stood her ground and didn't go running back to the girls after. She was like, Dougie is my person. Those girls have did me dirty. Hey, I'm bye.
Spicy's
treated them
reaction to
with respect,
Lexus's
you
DR
know?
pissed me off.
What'd you say?
Her
Why?
goodbye message.
Her
Well, because she's like, yes, Lexus. And I'm like, excuse me. Have you
her
not?
reaction to Lexus's DR kind of pissed me
So
off.
what?
Alright,
I
Joe.
would have been.
You know
I would have said the
what?
same thing.
Wait, hold on. Here's why. It's because Lexus ate. Like she ate that DR point blank in the period. Like
No shade.
clocked.
No,
She
no, no,
clocked
no, no, no,
Victoria.
no.
She clocked
She did.
Victoria. No. Let me
No, no,
speak.
no,
Let me
no.
speak. I know
Victoria played in her face
defends the
all
leader.
season
You
long.
can
We
no.
did,
speak
Lance.
after.
All season.
No,
But
no, no,
but
no.
you can clock that later. But I have said this time and time again. What did Lexus do to betray the girls? Nothing.
Nothing.
You want to talk
She got
about
a showman.
Even the time during executive veto, she set her man down.
And hot chocolate was Lexus. Point like the rest of y'all are hypocrites.
There's no shade. No shade. She set her man down in executive veto when she could have set one of y'all down. And she proved it to y'all. Y'all still played in that girl's face.
And,
No matter what.
And if it wasn't for Dougie, she would have been gone where Kayla was. And I'm happy Dougalicious did what he did. Even though I love Kayla.
That part.
Right.
And so that's why
Also
for Spicy V to be like, I don't know, ticked off by her DR. It's like, girl, at least she said it to your face. Yep,
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. No, she didn't.
Well,
Oh, can we talk for 1 second? We didn't talk about this in the episode. I think it was yesterday's episode or whatever day it was. When Spicy V was like, you're lucky you're still in the house, and then walked out and she goes, I just got into a fight with Lexus. I was like, who did you get into a fight with? Because that was not a fight. That was Alexis paid you dust, first of all. Like, you didn't get into a fight. You're really walking into the bathroom saying, I just got into a fight with Lexus. No, you said a shady comment and then you left the room. That's not a fight.
Yeah, as she should.
But you know, Isaiah got to keep it cute. Isaiah got to keep it cute.
I know. We know you stand.
He got to get his girl back on the podcast, child. Like,
It's not even that. Listen, even before I podcast it, I already told
He's
you.
a stand. He's a stand.
I'm a
He's been a
stand.
stand.
I already told y'all. Listen, I'm standing on business. Listen, even if I'm wrong, I ain't gonna let nobody talk crazy about me. What? Like y'all talking about
that was embarrassing.
Let's say somebody ate you up. So let's say somebody ate you up. Let's take this to
that.
banishment. Let's take this to banishment.
Mm.
Remember when Lance accidentally got leaked talking
I
about
do.
Josie and Katie, and then guess what Katie did? She stood on business. You gotta stand on business even if you're wrong, bro. I'm never admitting defeat.
But Lance still made it to Final Four.
Exactly. I'm a gaslight you, bro. That's all you gotta do. I'm never going to admit defeat. That's never. I'm never taking the L on TV.
You're using that example, right? When Katie came up to me, when I found out that Lance did all that, what was the first thing I did? I laughed because I was like, y'all are not serious. Like it was.
Guess what Katie did? She stood on business.
For me, it's like you can have fun in knowing. You know the tea, Victoria. You know you've been talking about her all season.
Who cares?
About how she
gotta stand on.
So now she gets to go in the DR and say, "Ha ha! I outplaced you."
I just thought about that again.
You could have said that to. He could have said that to her face, though. She could have said that to her face.
She said it in the DR.
Diary room.
She said it in the
went to
DR.
Listen, you gotta listen. If she said it in front of Victoria's face, you want to know what would have happened? She would have broke a damn glass. All right, it's over, bro. It's never happening. Nobody's ever going to
even do a fight with
Let the shit tell it to my face.
Lexus would have stood on business.
So would have took limb by limb. Period.
We're gonna see this when they get out the house, okay? Then we're gonna see us really stand on business. All right, listen.
She gonna have her man. She's not gonna be worrying about no Spicy V and her. Ooh, I was about to say something.
Shout out to Lexus. Shout out to Lexus.
Period.
We love Lexus in this house. Yes.
But shout out to Victoria too. All right. So, do we got anything else we gotta say?
I just thought it was funny that she's like, I just got into a fight. Oh yeah, we didn't all answer it.
She know why she on TV. She's the queen.
That was cringe. That was a cringe one.
I want to see her a third time. That's what I want.
I would watch her a third time. She delivers every time.
She's gonna be on Traders.
Ooh,
I would love it.
I would love it if she was on Traders.
To come for a third time.
Amazing.
Her game's kind of out there for now. Like you know, like
more chaos.
She concreted Canada Traders. She's
look at the hit list.
She could
Latoya down. Okay. Kayla down. Avery down. May I go on? Goose. Who else you take down? Tola. Listen, she got a hit list. Who else you take back out the other season 2? She took one person out. Who was it?
Who are you talking about?
Who else did Victoria take out? Who else
Victoria took out my girl Latoya way back when.
Oh yeah, that's
Lance,
right.
Not your girl.
Stood on business. All right, she stood on business.
Y'all know Latoya was my girl. Let's be clear.
She lost.
Can't agree with that one.
She lost to the
You are the problem. Like, what you said to Rohan, that was good TV. I'm sorry, Latoya. She did deliver good TV despite her career choices.
Yeah.
She took it.
To answer your question, Lance, this is my ranking. I believe that the most deserving winner
is Dougie. No shade.
It's Dougalicious. I don't care what you say. Vivek blindside, Kayla blindside, Victoria out. one of the best players in the house. I don't care. I'll stand on this to the day I die. It's like if Paris wouldn't have won season 6, I still would have defended Paris season 6. So I'm a stand on business. I'm breaking Dougie number 1.
Period.
I think Bailey, despite all the odds against her, the fact that she is in here and she carried her I'm sorry, I'm not trying to say this in a really mean way, but carried like, I was gonna say her pet, but like I'm trying to find a better way of saying it. But like Todd could have been out like pre-jury. Like, let's be serious. Like she didn't play her game. She also played Todd's game. And a little
They
bit.
were sitting there worried about Lexus and Matt. This is who y'all need to break up.
Like
Exactly.
so, I think she deserves to also win. So I will put her second.
Yeah.
You know, if
And
Anthony
then the
comes
other
out
two.
in this 4th position, I'm Team Bailey until the wheels fall off.
No
Okay?
shade, me too.
Then
Wow.
I'm so sorry. I'm picking Lexus. I get it. Y'all love Todd, but I think
Y'all?
Todd,
Oh,
I'm talking
America.
general
Canada.
public, they love Todd, but I just feel like, what has he actually done? Like, he wasn't in any alliances. Like,
Yo.
he was kept as a puppet.
That accent got on
At
my
least,
nerves.
at
I
least
just gonna
Lexus, like,
hate
you know,
it.
she like, she did something. She was in her own alliances. She stuck with her people. Like, you know, I don't know. I just feel like Lexus's game is better than Todd's.
For sure.
Especially since they were talking shit about her. She is the Taylor Hale of this season.
Yeah, I just
respect
think
where
that how the
respect is
jury
due. She
how the
deserves at
jury-
least 3rd, and Todd is 4th.
What? She does deserve it. I just think the jury is going to give it to Todd before Lex. If it's like a Todd and Lex final.
I don't care what the jury thinks, because clearly the jury has selective memory and
that's the problem. They're going to still think that Lexus did them dirty and they the one who did her dirty. And they're going to be like, we ain't vote for her.
There's no actual accountability and self-reflection. And you would think in the jury house that's all the time you have to do. But like some of the comments that were being made, I don't know. Let me not speak in I'm speaking from what I saw, that it's a concrete fact. So maybe the jury roundtable will be even better. And I'm going to be like, oh, so they actually did some self-reflection. You know, clock that tea. So
I think my ranking, as much as I think Anthony, this is not the right move, I think he's going to find a way to get there. And I think he's going to take it. I really do. I think Bailey obviously is a second winner choice. I want Lexus to have a shot, but I think she only has a shot against Todd. And I don't see a reality where the two of them are sitting next to each other. Maybe. But I mean, who's voting? Bailey's been a hater the whole time. Avery, Kayla, Spicy have been a hater the entire season against Lexus. And the guys are voting for Todd or Anthony. Like, they're not voting for Bailey or Lexus. Let's be real.
I will say, if Lexus makes final 2 against Todd, when these jury members have been hypocrites and talking about where's the loyalty to hot chocolate, if they don't vote for Lexus,
they're not voting for Lexus.
Exact same thing. It's like
Bailey even said it. I will vote for a man before I vote for Lexus.
Why is Bailey such a hater?
She is a mess. That's our winner, though.
I actually don't mind that Bailey win. We haven't had a woman winner since.
I'll be okay. Yeah, I'll be okay because
she played. She played.
And I don't want like a woman to just win because she's a woman. I still want her to be worthy, you know. And I feel that Bailey, so I have no problem with Bailey winning. I want a worthy winner.
Yeah.
So I remember how happy y'all was when Paris won, child. Y'all was hooping and loopily bobbling.
And did y'all not see that final 2 speech delivery, mama? That was passion. Yes.
Yeah.
I was just floating around Twitter.
Yeah, it was. Yo.
Isaiah, go ahead.
Isaiah.
Who you want to win, Isaiah? Spicy me to come from the abyss. He want her to come from the abyss so bad.
Look how hurt he is.
Battle back.
He's so hurt.
Like Isaiah is in his.
Isaiah might be sleeping behind the sunglasses. Hard to say.
I'm not. You see who I want to win?
What's your ranking?
Sorry,
no, what's up with you? That's crazy.
Because he's in his feelings, y'all.
Yeah.
Who do I want to win? Todd.
I can't.
As your number 1 draft pick, and you picking Luke as your number 1 draft pick. Like, you just make choices that are choices.
Listen, if I don't get what I want, no one get what they want. So I want Todd to win.
You're giving all of the general public what they want. So like,
I'm going Todd.
You're so bitter.
Anthony, and then I'm gonna go Bailey, and then I'm gonna go Lexus. That's
so all the women in the bottom crazy. Cool.
Yep.
Mm.
I'm gonna stand on business, bro.
Eat
I
us
already
in.
told y'all.
Eat.
That's what I'm doing. Which you thought I was going to change my answer? No, that's
Eat.
exactly what we're doing. Todd. Todd's our winner. There you go.
And
How
when
about
you
you, Janelle?
win, you got it.
Okay, and you heard it here first. All right, sorry, my bad.
Ooh.
Anyway, this podcast is over.
Did y'all see his tweet? That was crazy.
Who's tweet?
He said, "I ain't break no glass."
Oh, Jamar.
Oh yeah, I know. Shout out to Jamar. I love him.
Shout out to Jamar.
I don't know that Devon thing. All right, so if you enjoy what you what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe. Give us 5 stars. I'm not even pitching anything else. Just give us 5 stars and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You feel me? All right. Josie, thank you so much. Where can people find you?
Y'all can find me on all social media that matters at the same at Josiane XNM, JOSIANE XNM. I'm here with Silent Podcast, Bounce Checks, talking about the show. It's coming to an end, y'all. The finale.
I can't believe it.
So it'll be very interesting. I am doing exit press for the rest of the season.
You've been eating it up.
Y'all need to clock in because we be talking about it. Let's hear from the people what they actually want to hear. So check out my exit interview with Victoria, obviously, as she was evicted tonight. I am potentially covering the GOAT this season. Ooh. So, stay tuned for that, maybe, potentially. And that's everything for me.
All right. How about you, Katie?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at RealSomeKatie, and you can follow me on Twitch if you would like to at twitch.tv/RealSomeKatie with an underscore at the end. And Javier and I are back with TJ Hates Quitters. And I already messaged him about the episode this week and said, I need to scream about this episode. So I'm ready to go off. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So we're fast and loose on this one. So whenever we can find time to record, it will be out there. So that's why you have to subscribe and turn on your notifications and all that good stuff to find out when we post a new episode. Because I have a lot to say about Miss Cara Maria, and it's not good.
Share my hate for her.
It's not good.
All right. How about you, Lance?
All right, y'all. Y'all can find me on my Insta and my Twitter at I am King Lance. That's IAMKINGLANCE. That's all together, no spaces or anything. I need to get back into these silent podcast streets. I really want to do coverage on Drag Race All Stars 9. So, send some positives in the ether that Lance can make that happen, because I love me some drag, and I feel that we don't have enough coverage about our wonderful drag queens. And this season is for charity. So wouldn't it be fun to talk about? But yeah, you'll see me being guest star on a couple of these podcasts. Like I say, I would love to talk about the challenge and pop into some things. Does anyone cover Summer House Martha's Vineyard? Because if y'all not watching that, y'all are in for a treat.
That show is
get into it.
But I didn't.
Yeah, get into it. But yeah, so anytime hit me up. I love to chat. I love to talk about all things reality TV. And I'm so happy to be reunited with my peeps on Bounce Checks, because it has been forever.
All right. Rosie. Wait, all right. So Janelle. There's too many J's in here. Janelle.
Yeah. You can just find me on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere, Janelle Michaud, tweeting about this show, watching the shows, getting hype about the shows, and hopping on here with you guys when I can.
All guys, right. I heard rumors about a date for Big Brother US, and it's sooner than we all think, if it's true. So.
No.
I'm hearing mid-June. I don't know. I don't know anything insider. I just see it on Twitter. If it's mid-June, you'll see us back together before you even know it.
I hope not.
You're not ready, Isaiah.
I don't want to. That show sucks, bro. I'm so sorry.
Isaiah's just in his feelings tonight.
I can't stand Big Brother US, though. I can't do it.
But that's your show because of the live feed. So, have it. Enjoy it.
You can find me at 8 Ball Bangers. We got one more week of this, so you can find me here talking about Big Brother Canada. We got some off-season content that I'm very excited to finally start working on now that I don't have to worry about this. And you can check out the Isaiah and Nicole show. I believe we're going to do our next one on Monday, so make sure you look out for that. But until next time, where we should probably have a winner crowned.
Yeah.
We'll see. But all right, until next time, have a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.